there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah Adams. I'm a health and life coach, and lately I've been vlogging about just getting myself put back together after losing my son Davin. He was stillborn at 26 weeks. And for the last couple of videos, I've been sharing recordings of Facebook Lives that I did in my lifestyle Facebook coaching community. It's a paid community that you can be part of. And I decided to share some of it because it's my lifers. My lifers are people that are like-minded, and there's like a safety circle in there that we can be honest with each other and share and be vulnerable and all of that. And so when I first lost Davin back in August, this past August, I really wasn't up to vlogging or recording anything about the process, but I did record a lot and shared a lot in the lifestyle community. So the last couple of videos I've been uploading were just Facebook Lives that I did in there. I decided to share those videos because I feel like they're a pretty good picture of kind of the ups and downs, and also just some of the things that I have been doing over the last couple of months to get myself back. I've shared in other videos before as a health and life coach, but also a real person that is going through something this tragic. I really feel called to be a voice for the grieving, for lack of a better way of saying it, because I realize I think there's a lot of people that have lost, and it's not just miscarriage or stillbirth or infant death. It's not losing a baby. I mean, any kind of loss is traumatic. Any kind of loss is going to affect you and your health, and just have found for myself it's been therapeutic to talk about it and share what I'm going through. And I think that there's, like I said, a lot of people out there that don't talk about it, so maybe hearing a little bit of my story will help give them the words that they haven't been able to put to it. And I hope, again, for those watching that are interested in following me and my journey, that you can kind of understand what it's like. And like, this is really what kind of goes on. I have found by talking to other parents who have lost their baby that one of the things kind of common throughout with all of us is that there's this feeling that the world moves on, and even family members move on, and yet your life is still so affected by the loss. And so again, here it is, 6 months since I lost Davin, and I'm still going through things. So just a quick little update. I'm doing a lot better than I was. I'm doing the best I ever have, actually. I've been seeing a counselor, and in my last session, she's like, you seem to be doing really great. I don't think you're getting any worse. Kind of like, you still want to keep coming. And I definitely have felt things shift for me significantly. I do feel like I'm at the best that I ever have been, and that's probably a whole other video that I'll talk about. But I just want to kind of introduce this last Facebook Live. It's probably going to be the last Facebook Live that I share from my lifer group. And in this video, it was really authentic. I cry in it. I remember I was sitting in the car outside the gym, and I started the Facebook Live, and I mean, you can hear my voice right away. I was like, I need help. And I'm sharing this because, one, to kind of show you the ups and downs, because in the video that I had recorded, shared pretty like right before that, I remember watching it as I was editing it and compiling these for YouTube. I was really upbeat and really happy, and I was doing really well in my health, trying to get myself back to a good place. And then I just remember the emotions of where I was at when I recorded this video you're going to watch here in a second. And it was completely opposite. And it reminds me of that time where I was really understanding grief. I've felt like grief was supposed to be like this linear process, you know, where you go through these different stages and eventually you kind of come out of it. And I've talked about that in my my first counseling session video. And again, around this time, this original video that I'm going to show you was recorded a couple months ago, somewhere kind of in the middle of since my loss. And I was doing really good. And then I kind of like took a nosedive, and that was when I was introduced to the anger stage of grief, and the emotions kind of took hold, and therefore my efforts in healthy eating and not having vices like alcohol and sugar and things kind of took a nosedive also, and that was really frustrating for me. And it was also really concerning because I had never experienced something like this before. Usually I could control it, and that again kind of goes back to my being a control freak. So again, so much to learn from that. I've already kind of talked about in my first counseling session video, and what I'm going to kind of talk about here coming up. So without further ado, in this video, I talk about, again, I'm just like super authentic, saying that I am going up and down, back and forth, and it actually reminds me of this picture that I saw about grief and how true it is. And go ahead and comment below if you can relate that grief is not linear. It is an up and down, back and forth, and sometimes it's all within the same day kind of feeling. So I just going to talk about in this video how I have been attempting to navigate healthy living or getting my health back through the grieving process. Again, turning to food for comfort. And I talk a little bit about my past with being an emotional eater and feeling addicted to food, and how, going through bouts of depression and other things in my life, how grief is so similar yet different. So I hope that you get something from this video, and as always, give me feedback in the comments below. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you like it, share it with somebody that you think could benefit from it, and make sure you're subscribed and continue to follow my journey here. Hello, lifer. It is Monday, and I'm coming to you. I titled this Facebook Live, Help Me, because I'm really struggling. I feel like I am really failing at staying on course with my own health. And then on top of it, I feel like I'm failing you because I'm really uninspired on how to lead you through this group in your own health journey. And as I've just been authentic since Davin died, I'm just coming to you and saying, like, I need help, because when you're in your head so much, you can't process it. And that's why I love coaching you guys, especially one-to-one, because then we can kind of talk about it. So I'm sitting here thinking about, okay, well, what am I going to say on this Facebook Live? And my biggest problem right now is this back and forth. Like, you get on the bandwagon, you feel motivated, or maybe you force yourself to do it, and then you fall off it. And I'm really like, it's like a daily thing. It's like an hourly thing. Like, not giving a shit and then caring a lot. And then feeling like you're supposed to get it together. And then, again, just saying screw it and like drinking wine or like eating the pizza or whatever. And I've never been in this position, because I think about, okay, if I were coaching you, the first thing we talk about is why. What I found myself wanting to do with you guys is giving you all the tangible, like, go-to tricks and hacks, and that's part of what I do, and that's part of what I work with you guys on, is like, okay, well, drink more water, or put this fall safe in place. But there's the tangible, and Bruiser, I see you're watching live and you've coached with me. There's that tangible, like, things to work on, and then there's the emotional side of it. And I've never been in a position where the emotional side was grief. It's always been like some, like, workaholism or baggage with your parents, or whatever. So this is new for me, and I guess this is one of the gifts that God's giving me, is like learning how to coach somebody through grief. Like, I'm really good at coaching food addicts, because I was such an emotional eater. I get that addiction to it. But like I said, I'm learning how to navigate this with grief. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to like come in and like tell you about all the different tangible things that I've been doing to try to keep myself
on it, but then I keep falling off. And like, I'll go one day, like I shared with you guys, I fasted till like 2 o'clock, and I love intermittent fasting. If you've never done it, it's so many health benefits, and it really eradicates a lot of the issues that you might be having around food. So I did that one day, I think Saturday, and then Sunday, like, I just had a ton of mixed drinks and like wanted fried foods and stuff like that. So if I were to coach myself on the tangible things, I would remind myself that, one, food is addicting. And while it's a very different situation to be grieving my son, I hate when my voice cracks like that. Food, I still have this like thing in me where food is a go-to for comfort. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you can relate to that in some way. It might be, I've been on this health journey for years, and when I'm high stressed, and I might do yoga now, and I might, be at a better place spiritually, but when I'm high stress, it's so easy to go back to food for me. So those watching live or watching later, comment if you can relate to that. So I have to remind myself the tangible things. Number one is that, like, that is going to be a go-to for me. So I think when you acknowledge, just kind of putting it out there, and again, like verbalizing it, and that's why I'm doing this Facebook Live with you guys, is like when you actually acknowledge and verbalize that, I think that it shines a light on things, makes it more obvious to you, so you're going to be able to catch it more in the future. So when I was in my early 20s, I was such an emotional eater. And it's an embarrassing thing. I did not talk about it, and I really didn't even acknowledge it for myself. Like, I did not acknowledge that it was as bad as it was. And now I talk about it very openly, because I just know that that really was the root cause of a lot of my ups and downs and my weight fluctuations and emotional stuff too. When you're not feeling good about yourself, it's just kind of like a snowball effect. But anyways, I think I went off on a little bit of a different direction there. So there's the tangible, and then there's the emotional side. And so that question is always why. Why do you do this, or why do you feel that way? Most people want to know how to. So it's like, okay, well, how do I break this addiction, or how do I stay on the bandwagon? But that's not really the question that you should be asking. The question is why. And so why am I struggling to stay on course? Because I know that it's two reasons. One is my motivation to do well isn't very strong. So something I'm going to commit to doing this week is actually writing out my goals. I forget the statistic, but I think it's like something like 80 or 90%. If you write your goals out, you have like an 80 or 90% higher chance of succeeding or following through with them. So I'm committing to getting better with my goals, my motivation, my reason why for succeeding in my health process right now. So that's number one. Again, why am I struggling so much? I don't have very strong goals. And two, because when I'm feeling sad about Davin, I can't even say it. When I'm feeling sad, again, it's just like this like negative feeling that overtakes me, and I fall back into my old go-to, which was food and now alcohol. So I'm not gonna take it any further than that right now, mainly for time, and also my phone is on 20% apparently. But I'm gonna think about that one for a little bit and see if I can keep digging deeper at that emotional side of things. So I'm kind of coaching myself this month in the Facebook Live. Again, for those of you that have done it one-on-one with me, you know how that goes. So I hope that this is reminding you, I'm bringing up some of your stuff. And yeah, I'm not sure how else to leave that, but thank you guys for watching live. And Bruiser said, let us know if there's anything to do to help. I guess just give me feedback. Like, where can you relate to any of this? And if so, what helped you? And, you know, and it can be the tangible or the emotional side. I think it's always nice to hear from other people. Again, that's the point of processing this out loud. And there are many times that I ask clients a question, and I know the answer, but I'm asking the question because I want them to say it out loud. So yeah, just giving me feedback on how you can relate, and if there's things that you have done or kind of reconciled in your mind, whether it's the emotional or the tangible side in situations like this. So thanks for asking. All right, have a good one.